Hello, this is Hajduk Blades and this is part 3 of Pimp, my bushcraft knife. I'm starting things off with cutting the pins with a hacksaw. I don't use a belt sander for this part because I don't want to build a lot of heat in the pins and ruin the epoxy, so I find this method actually safer, even though it's a little bit slower. Now I'm starting to profile the shape of the handle, cleaning it, and I'm being very careful not to cut deep into the handle. At this point I'm just cleaning the remaining epoxy that I didn't manage to clean with acetone in the previous episode. And here I'm starting to rough profile the shape of the handle to set in some bevels. In this part I'm constantly checking the ergonomy and seeing if everything is symmetric and everything fits good and tight. Taking it very slow, always checking the symmetry and the ergonomy. At this part I'm just going to start rounding things, going towards a more finished handle gradually. Here I'm checking for temperature, carefully, being very careful not to ruin the heat treat. And after I rough shape the handle, I'm going to sculpt some more using the Proxon tool. I find it easier to control and easier to set in details with the Proxon than with the belt grinder. At this point I notice a slight asymmetry in the handle, and I mark it to correct it, and I go back a step or two, being very careful not to mess up again. And of course some more detailing with the Proxon. Checking the symmetry and the ergonomy again, and everything seems good. again with a epoxy cleaning. Now I'm progressing to a final belt, 400 grit. I always take this step before the hand sanding. In this part I'm using mainly the slack of the grinder. Every few passes I take, I just check for symmetry and ergonomy and stuff like that. I'm just setting some more details with the Proxon before hand sanding. And the hand sanding itself, this is a very time-consuming step, but I find it necessary. You cannot shy away from this. I'm not going to show the whole process, but yeah. Just setting in some bevels, carefully, being very careful not to have sharp edges. Again with the sharpening choil. And this is pretty much it. I think I'm happy with the ergonomy, happy with the symmetry. I think we are ready to sharpen the blade. Sharpening, I'm just being very careful not to mess up the original convex grind, and I'm trying to keep the angle constant because yeah, I don't want to put a secondary bevel on that convex. I think it's sharp enough. Again, it could be sharper, but it's totally usable. I'm going to strop it some more later on. And at this point I'm just oiling the handle with linseed oil. I know this is a synthetic material, but I do it anyways. I find it helps a lot. Removing the linseed oil with a rag. And at this point the knife is pretty much finished and it's waiting for the sheath. I think it turned out very well. Happy with the result. And I really hope that the owner is going to be happy with the result as well. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos like this.